I had spent nearly 3 weeks preparing for the biggest presentation of my career. Every evening after work I stayed late, refining charts, collecting research, rehearsing my talking points, and making sure every detail was perfect because this project could determine who would lead a major client account for the next year. Everyone in the office knew I had been working on it because they constantly saw me in the conference room practicing or discussing ideas with my team. The only person who seemed strangely interested was Karen, the self-appointed office queen who also happened to be the president of our neighborhood HOA. She had a reputation for believing rules only applied to everyone else. At work she acted like she managed every department despite holding the exact same position as the rest of us. She constantly reminded people about her leadership experience, from running the HOA, as if organizing complaints about grass heights somehow made her qualified to run a corporate project. Every time she walked past my desk she asked suspicious questions like, "Are you almost done?" or, "Who's helping you with all this?" At first I assumed she was just making conversation, but looking back, she was gathering information. The day before the presentation I saved my slides on the company's shared drive exactly where management instructed us to upload our files. I even emailed my manager confirming everything was ready. Feeling relieved, I went home early for the first time in weeks. The next morning I arrived excited and confident, only to notice Karen already sitting in the conference room chatting with executives. She smiled in a way that immediately made me uneasy. As everyone settled into their seats, our director announced that Karen had volunteered to present first because she claimed to have finished ahead of schedule. The lights dimmed, the projector turned on, and my heart nearly stopped. The first slide appeared, and it was my title page. My logo, my design, even the typo I had forgotten to correct on slide 3 was still there. Karen stood confidently at the front of the room pretending she had created every single slide herself. She stumbled over technical terms she clearly didn't understand, skipped important data because she couldn't explain it, and even mispronounced names of clients I had personally interviewed. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I interrupted and said, "Excuse me, that's my presentation." The room went completely silent. Karen laughed and replied, "You must be confused. You hadn't made any presentation. You probably wish you'd worked as hard as I did." Several coworkers looked at me with puzzled expressions because Karen sounded so confident. She even claimed I was trying to take credit because I wasn't prepared. My director turned to me and asked if I had any proof. At that moment I realized my presentation file was missing from the shared folder. Someone had renamed it and moved it into Karen's directory. For a second I thought I was finished. Then I remembered something important. Because I had been working with our design department, I had emailed several draft versions over the previous weeks. I calmly opened my laptop and pulled up weeks of email timestamps showing the evolution of every slide. I also had cloud backups with automatic version history recording every edit, every chart, every animation, and every note created under my account. Karen suddenly looked nervous, but she wasn't done lying. She claimed I had somehow copied her work after seeing it. That ridiculous excuse lasted about 10 seconds because our IT manager, who had been invited to the meeting to discuss cybersecurity later that afternoon, volunteered to check the access